Welcome to Ellie Goldsmith's Relationship Flow. This is an important next step in our Intimacy Flow series of focus. Focus is a key word in relationships, and we have also the aspects of relationship goals, dreams, values that we've also discussed in previous Relationship Flow podcasts. We are excited to see that people are joining the blog, Relationship Flow blog, that gives us opportunity to list everything, the notes, and give us also videos and some visual guides in what we're doing. We are open to partner, collaborate, and join with other Relationship Flow people out there. Everybody in the world nowadays knows that the most important thing, especially the media world knows it better than all, the power of relationships, and we know that our mystical guides are helping us always to develop that relationship that we need to really be successful in our relationships. It's that relationship with our inner selves, with our soul level, and that is the kind of focus that we need to be successful, especially nowadays, even more so with all the challenges that are going on externally. We need to be having that inner focus, that inner soul level that gives guidance to everything we do at home and with our soulmate, our soul partner. And I recommend everybody to really go over the previous class, because kindness is the foundation of every relationship. But the next step is then focus, is then to really allow the relationship to go onto a new level of openness. But it can only become open once there's that focus, those boundaries between you and other relationships, that the key relationship, the most important relationship between you and your soulmate, is fully focused, fully developed in with trust and dedication that's needed. This is something which will go into the intimate experience. For example, if a couple are together, they need to have the correct focus with each other, the openness, the ability to trust and be vulnerable. So to continue on that point, we just, funny enough, as we're trying to focus and get the goals worked through on this important episode, we had an interruption. Thank God it was some good news of a court case coming to a conclusion, and we have to always be grateful when things work out for the good. But in relationships, it really does take focus, and there is going to be this constant challenge to focus. As you can see, even in this podcast, there was a distraction as we were recording. So this is the kind of mindset and dedication, and that will come from the heart level, that's needed in the intimate life, that a person needs to be dedicated to giving at the time of intimacy solely to the other person, not what pleasures they can get, but how they can pleasure the other person. Something I am going to talk about this week in our Amunas, our future podcast, not so much on the intimacy level, but more the concepts of pleasure and how important pleasure is in our daily life, and our life should have pleasure, and what pleasure is in a true sense to really enhance and maximize what we're doing. It will be called True Pleasure. That will be the title. And I hope to continue that also on our Unity Flow podcast as we post tonight's Unity and Diversity class. It's something that always comes up, especially in terms of we're going to be hopefully bringing up mental health and also just current issues that people are going through with the Corona challenge. People have gone online much more, and people are finding the time period, even like as I was discussing with the lawyer just now, the court case that's been going on, this whole time period has been a challenge, not just financially, but in order to really enhance our relationships, we really have to be able to focus and not just find new distractions like the Netflix online experience. And I made a joke last night to my wife, but once we're off more of these things, the more time we can have to discuss the real things we want to do in our life. And she was laughing to me. She really hopes that's the case. So even as much as I'm trying to guide and be an example, a role model in relationships, thankfully being married all these years, but I know myself that it's been a challenge, to focus in my relationship. Coming from a father, I remember just coming home and seeing him or him coming home, and the first thing is, going to the newspaper, going to the news, and, obviously, there was discussion at the table between my father and mother, but there was always that other thing going on, the TV or whatever it was, and to have that exclusivity, like when you're doing booking, you have to pay more for it. If you wanted to book Missing Black exclusive when he comes to LA or to New York or Miami, you're going to have to pay more for it. And that's the truth in relationships. You want exclusivity, you're going to have to give a self-sacrifice for something which is more meaningful, and that comes to the concepts of goals. If your goals are clear, that the relationship is priority, and your dreams and passions and visions and values are that your soulmate is the most important thing in your life, so then you'll have the ability to turn off those distractions much easily, and you'll be able to tune in to the power of the relationship, how it can fulfill you and fulfill the other person by being totally focused. And that's a relationship goal which takes clarity of thought and discussion inside, and the inner discussion of a person to understand on the soul level, this is the most important thing. This person is who you're meant to be with, and you learn to accept that other person, something we can talk about and we have talked about in previous Relationship Flow podcasts, having acceptance for the other person, accepting who they are, not wanting them to be what you want them to be, but to accept who they are and to work on changing yourself, not changing them. This is really, really important. And hope that, with prayer and dedication, and they'll bridge a lot of those gaps that can be created, and different approaches that a husband and wife has, being a man, being a woman, making sure you have clear those different needs and being real about them, but having that overall goal that you both share, that you want to become one, you want to have that intimacy that's with, like we said before, filled with trust and openness and vulnerability, and has the proper focus, that you're able to really open up each other and pleasure the other person in a true way, and then therefore come to that ultimate level of unification, which we've talked about here many times. And I think that if we have that focus on our goal and the relationship goals are clear, then the distractions will become less difficult and will become less noisy. The noise in our relationship will lessen, and the clear conversation, the clarity of flow will be more present. I pray that, I personally do this, I work on this, make this reality. I think it's a lot to do with controlling, self-control and understanding the importance of the other person in our life, accepting who they are, appreciating who they are, giving, as we've said many times here, the good word and the positivity that's needed, the love. But then with the goal clear in our head that this is more important than our work. This is more important than anything else right now. And when you really got that clear, both souls feel validated fully and can fully connect. And then you can go ahead with whatever you need to do, renewed, with a new relationship, a renewed relationship, an energy of connection. And that connection is key to everything. So praying that everyone should go ahead with that flow and connection and focus and goals. And we're looking forward to go to our next level in our next week's Relationship Flow. Please share yours, and thank you for listening. I really appreciate your time, and I enjoy the fact that we're growing together during these special holy days of Sphira, upwards and upwards together in our Relationship Flow. Wishing you all the best, and I know that if you do these things, you will be blessed in every way. Amen.